How quiet and still.
Тишина, которая рождает
The silence which breeds power, expectations, anticipation. The silence as a kind of run-up for a very fast-moving and still powerful advance. This is the quiet which we would like to invite you to, dear viewer. Come on into the world of the youngest concert hall in Russia, the Ygra Classic.
Sing once again with me, how strange duet. My power over you grows strong.
Do come in, Your Majesty the viewer, or will rather be quiet, for words and comment say nothing. You will see, hear, and appreciate yourself.
The phantom of the opera is now your mastermind.
Each time I welcome my numerous guests and tell them a nice story about this magnificent center, I want to be a no storyteller, although a fairy tale is, I think, a true story, because in fairy tales everything is accurately placed. This story does resemble a fairy tale, but fairy tales in the Ugrian land became a reality long ago. And the temp's rule in the Siberian land has ended as well. The people want to lead a decent and beautiful life here, thinking about the future. And this handsome theater and concert center, Ygra Classic, has become a model and symbol of all the cultural and spiritual life of the Khanty-Mansiysk land. This fabulous piece of architecture, at least without any chimeric ideas, only the real ones. They are tangible. You know, this is exactly why Khanty-Mansiysk has such an appeal for me, this soundness and normalcy. For so many years, Sergei Solovyov, a well-known film director, has staged in the Ugrian land the Spirit of Fire, international film festival of young filmmakers. Then, 7 years ago, many wondered and couldn't grasp why Siberia and why so far away and who would get to this backcountry. Amazing, but they did it, thanks to Solovyov, for whom this hinterland is of special importance. The provinces are huge, and human-wise they are the best part of Russia. The so-called backcountry represents a vast and complete cultural heritage of Russia. This hinterland is a massive source of pure energy. Ygra has broken familiar patterns of the provincial life and has won the glory of a truly cultural capital. You may see yourself. International Festival in Ygra attracts the best theater companies. The musical festival welcomes world eminent stars, and the Golden Tambourine International TV Festival has become a professional review competition of the most famous TV companies of Russia, the near and the far abroad. As people say, the stars are called to visit us. People are tempted by our options to realize, to do something interesting. Really, as they say, Russia will prosper through Siberia. But for me, these are definite and real prospects in 10 years and in 20 and in 30 years.
закончился фестиваль Еврооркестрия. Это молодежные симфонические оркестры, которые
Euro-Orchestria Festival has been held recently. These youth symphonic orchestras have come to introduce their composers and their music.
Музыкальной культурой страны, которую они представляли.
To witness such a music feast is a delight and real happiness. And you rarely meet young musicians who come from different countries to make a unified international orchestra. Truly a festival of the European orchestras, Euro-Orchestria is. It was conceived not today, not yesterday, and even not a year ago, but step by step with the assistance of the Department of Culture. For the first time in the Ugrian land, we got together 300 musicians, so many companies, and had such dynamic sharing with the audience. Viewers came up to me saying that they were vainly afraid of classical music. It was interesting and it brought quiet to their mind. A couple of years ago, one could not imagine that the music of Tchaikovsky and Verdi would sound in the ancient land of shamans, the Khanty and Mansi. But then it was very important to preserve and extend the traditions of the ancestors, their belief and their original culture, national songs and dances of the northern peoples. How nice it is here, isn't it? Wonderful. When I see the water, I shall bow. The sun goes down, I shall bow. Each tree embodies a spirit. For example, this cedar, it is very saint. Trees do hear. Please, leave your gift here for them to remember you. Onto this tree. My faith is the religion of the future, because people shall go back to nature, and they have started to be aware of nature, to bless nature. Torum is the nature, and we are part of nature. All my heart embraces land, people's wisdom and hearts of men, like the boughs of the trees, full of light with their belief. This philosophy of the Khanty and Mansi peoples has become the main law for all the people living in the ancient Ugrian land. And this unique and the only state museum of nature and man is a spectacular proof to that. The museum has at its disposal the paleontology, archaeology, ethnography collections, unique documents and books, and even such a mammoth skeleton which numbers a few in the world. This museum is being called a real window into the mythological past of shamans. It shows the traditions and life of the ancient Khanty and Mansi. Torum in the Mansi language is a god, but Torum is nature. Torum is cosmos. Torum is just weather. This is the primary message of the museum to the people, to save and preserve the fragile nature, the world of Torum and the world of people. All the peoples are like trees in the forest. With only just cedars, the forest is beautiful. Yes, if it is like that. But the cedar and the fir and the birch and the asp, all are very nice and very canny. Imagine the concerts and the artists, just like a forest with a little of everything, beautiful and wise. New times dictate new life. That's why today the cultural space of the district has no boundaries. Look at the show bills, tours of the world-renowned theaters and orchestras, and what a name, Gidon Kramer, Valery Gergiev. And there he is, Maestro Kramer himself with the orchestra. They're warming up prior going on stage. Slightly nervous are the ballet dancers of the Mariinsky Theatre before their first night, rehearsing their ballet pas. And how concentrated Valery Gergiev is in the practice. Look at the musicians' faces. It is clear. Tonight is the concert. To meet the audience, which for any artist is the meaning of the art. The repertoire of the Ygra Classic Theatre and Concert Hall may be envied by the best philharmonics in the world. This is fantastic. In today's Russia, such like is nowhere except Moscow. Cultural investments, no argue, do not bring quick profits, but this is something more significant that allows the country to develop. Pyotr Fomenko is a man of real art. He hates vanity. He doesn't like to leave his home theater. And for the artists, the news about their tour to the Ugrian land came as a total surprise. How could Fomenko, who quite recently refused the European tours, all of a sudden make up his mind to go to the other end of the world and right to Siberia? It cannot be true. The theater group has talked around the news day and night and couldn't believe it. But the preparation for the tour went on at full speed. Fomenko addressed his company to emphasize the significance of the tour and blessed the artists. The tour in Ygra has surpassed all the expectations. Siberia has fascinated the artists, and the audience reception amazed and even overwhelmed them. The people in Khanty-Mansiysk are competent, intelligent. People come not just for a show, but come to be a heart and soul with the players. And this is very important and always very pleasant to the artists. You are no lover. You are too old. You got fat. Perhaps you wear your bathrobe at home and a cap. You look like a nice, kind papa. Oh no, you are so unjust to me. My dear, no offense meant. You are very nice, you are so respected, but to fall in love with you, impossible. Only respect, my dear. No, indeed. I am still able to do at least anything. It was so nice, such a cordial welcome and wonderful accommodation, which gave the impression of a genuine resort. This was a wonderful hotel. It used to remind you of the necessity to take care of yourself, your body, to go to the water pool, to walk as much as possible. Oh, but not to forget about the stage play tonight. If you are not aware that it is Russia, undoubtedly it is an absolutely European city. Clean and decent beyond your imagination. Ygra is not only a powerful oil and gas region of the country with huge capacity, dynamic economy and developing social and cultural projects. Today, Khanty-Mansiysk is a tourist center, and in the near future it will be a city resort. Yes, yes, don't be surprised. This is a northern tourist capital of Russia. Here are nice mineral springs, more accurately a mineral sea, which is exactly beneath Khanty-Mansiysk. And we will have a pump room and thermal water pools and perhaps health spas, our own Kislovodsk. And why not? Kislovodsk and Karlovy Vary were not built in a day. In the near future, Khanty-Mansiysk as well will occupy its worthy place among world-famous spas and resorts. But even today, the Yugorskaya Dolina, known locally as the Wellness Hotel, features open-air thermal water pools and a broad range of water pools and pump galleries. Such is this Siberian backcountry.
Ну какая же это провинция?
Why should you call it backcountry? The Khanty-Mansiysk chess tournament is of the 20th category, if I am not mistaken. That's it. Your city hosts a 20th category chess tournament, and just recently the Biathlon World Cup has ended here. The Biathlon World Cup is a special source of pride in the area. It has been held for several years running. Winter sports here stand high. You may see for yourself, a genuine resort. You call yourself a sleepy? Don't play cunning. Fishing to the left, hunting to the right, prior hunting training, either rifle range or tomahawk, and for fishermen it is always a happy fishing ground. Siberian salmon, Nelma, Muksun, Pizhyan, is a real gourmet item. Its cooking is a performance of local chiefs, unbelievable. And the skill to lay the table and create a piece of art is their lifelong tradition. And after all that comes the time to think about spiritual food. And at night, don't be late to the concert hall, symphonic orchestras, opera, ballet, theater. With the dawn of the day, it is high time visiting the city museums. Thanks, they are not few here. For film director Sergei Solovyov, this is, for instance, favorite pastime. I'm a sightseer. I love going to museums and galleries very much. I visited a lot of them all over the world. After all the museums Sergei Solovyov has visited, from the Louvre to the Dresden Gallery, from Hermitage to the Tretyakov Gallery, this Russia's youngest museum became a culture shock to the experienced connoisseur of antiquity. And he can't stop telling everybody, you should definitely go there. Don't leave accidentally Khanty-Mansiysk without seeing the picture gallery. Sergei Solovyov is certainly right. Here you may find a collection of the 15th and the 16th century icons, masterpieces of portrait art belonging to Repin and Surikov, Makovsky and Kustodiev, paintings of great artists such as Brulov and Ivazovsky, Tropinin and Kiprensky, Savrasov and Vasnetsov, Shishkin and Pelenov, Levitan and Serov. Just think what grand names they are.
I
have seen the best museum in the world. Anyway, one of the best museums of Russian art. The Khanty-Mansiysk collection of paintings is a unique art collection which, among other paintings, has its own exceptional identity. And this is a unique collection as well, a small museum, but its significance for Ygra is special. People want to know the history of their land. People want to leave their own trace in the history for the future generation. To this end, the museum is an imprint of historic and cultural heritage. The history of the area and of the people of this great Ugrian land is being opened to the people by the paintings of the USSR people's artist Vladimir Igoshev. Even Russia's people's artist Sergei Yursky was overwhelmed by his art form.
Загадочное, но загадочным для меня показалось и это его сочувствие.
Mysterious. His genuine sympathy with the way people survive here seemed mysterious to me. As he stuck to that snow, to the children, who more often than not living in the snow, to the trees wounded under various circumstances, to the reindeers living in the snow, lying in the snow. Perhaps once and for all, he got amazed. He felt sorry and tried to perceive how to survive here.
А я теперь вот за эти дни
But during my stay here, I have seen the efforts to argue against the word survive, and instead of this word survive, we shall use the word to live.
Создать слово «живут».
That's what a word man means. Said this as if cut it off. They live, that's it. No, don't be misled. These are not the city views. These are scenes from the documentaries of their own Ygra film studio. And this is its founder and general director, Oleg Urushev, for whom the movie art is the most important one. Our movie pictures, this is a kind of a jack for the channel. All first performances are seen by our viewers. Everybody smiled and giggled before. Nowadays they don't laugh anymore. This is a scene from the famous movie which got many international awards, Franz and Polina, about the love of a German soldier to a Russian girl during the Second World War. The film released by the Ygra studio.
В Югре вдруг свой кинематограф. Понятно.
Ygra has its own film company, and we are clearly the darlings of our viewers. They take pride together with us in our ability to make films.
Вот это аккуратное, осторожное.
It seems to me that this delicate and careful growth of the region into the film production process by all means will bring excellent results.
Даст свой превосходный эффект.
And here are the results. That was this particular Ygra film studio where Solovyov made his old dream come true, filmed Leo Tolstoy Anna Karenina novel. Many film critics and film producers just wondered how to film Anna Karenina in Siberia. And they kept on asking the director one and the same question. Where is Khanty-Mansiysk and where does Anna Karenina fit in?
Ну, вы знаете,
You know, many moons ago, people realized that in reality, the wide, wide world is very nigh at hand.
все очень близко.
Khanty-Mansiysk has long forgotten boundaries in art, and the tour of Gidon Kremer, maestro from Paris with his orchestra, musicians from Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia, Kremerata Baltica, who got together on the Ygra Classic Concert Hall stage, has once again proved that. However, let's keep silent and not interfere. The orchestra and maestro are warming up, and in a minute the audience shall pack the hall and the music will start. None of any provincial frustrations. Vice versa, I am very much at ease. Frankly speaking, something wholehearted with all their hearts. And it seems to me the people here still have it in them.
Он долгие годы
For many years and over the last years, he was looking for a place to celebrate the birthday of his beloved, dear, darling child, Kremerata Baltica Ensemble, which he founded. He said he wanted to find some warm place, and he was searching the tropic islands for it to celebrate the 10th anniversary, and found it in Khanty-Mansiysk at the height of frosts in February. Dating back to his college years, Gidon did not lack originality. Even now, he celebrated his 60th birthday and the 10th anniversary of his orchestra not at a table, but out in the -40 by a battle march through the taiga snow. Very swift to imagine, isn't he? Talk of the devil, and Gidon is here. We've just been speaking about you. I meant Piazzolla. You'll be in the money. We've just spoken about you. Couldn't be richer. And how does the relationship between the composer and the musician shape? Gidon, he's absolutely uncatchable as Batman. He belongs to another tribe. He's a nomad, playing all over the world. And mine is a settled tribe of composers.
Это юность.
10 years mean youth. 10 years are an overture. And still 10 years, this is something accomplished. Within 10 years, the guys became friends, played in, learned how to listen to each other. That is why a double anniversary, I combine the jubilee of the orchestra with my own, because these people too have become very close to me as artists and as humans. And in this so-called anniversary year, or really the jubilee year, you want to be closer to your friends. Perhaps you'd like to see many a one at the festive table, wouldn't you? All friends can't be brought. I am very happy to have managed to bring at least Kremerata Baltica and to show Siberia to them once more. What is silence of snow? What are fabulous sunsets? What is real frost? Therefore, enjoy the fleeting hour of this most brittle life, good friends. I understand its worthlessness and count myself little in its power. To life's illusions I have closed my eyes, and yet some distant hopes arise and trouble my heart from time to time. Without all noticeable trace, it would be hard to leave this place. I live, I write, and not for praise, but only because I wish, it seems, to add to my sorry fate some fame, and that, like a true friend with constancy, one verse at least should remember me. For then it might touch someone's heart, and preserved by fate for eternity, Perhaps to leather will not depart that stanza, that verse composed by me. Perhaps also, O flattering hope, some future dunce on nincompoop will point at me in a well-known portrait and pronounce, there indeed is a poet. Receive also my gratitude and thanks, you disciple of the peaceful muses, you in whose memory reposes my fleeting transitory verse, whose kindly hands pats me on the shoulder and adjusts the laurels as I grow older.
Добрина – одно из удивительных начинаний, а может быть уже и достижений.
Dobrino is one of the wonderful endeavors and perhaps achievements, but in any case this is an amazing thing which I experienced here.
Пожив там. Там создано то, что я...
What I find here seems to be a tourist center in the future, or perhaps something else.
Еще что-нибудь. А пока что
But at present, here is an art school for the young.
школа молодежи.
We have found our way. We educate and present our performers as growing professional art of Ygra, trying to live up to the Russian and international level. This is exactly what we are doing in the summer school. This dance is just a single example of the new Ygra art, the Ort Lonka Dance Company. We are very small, we are young, we have everything before us. Sometime there came a moment for the people to get together and everything started spinning, just like a new star is born. It doesn't really appear from nowhere, but nobody lights it up. At first there appear flecks of dust, then they become enmassed, and now we observe something fairy and beautiful.
Действительно, местные условия.
And the local conditions and the way they talk, it absolutely lacks cast-down eyes. There you have that in Moscow.
А у вас там в Москве. Они там все скорее чуть
They rather
приобщены у нас.
feast their eyes on what they have here.
И это меня очень порадовало.
And this gladdened me, for it has to be like that.
Так должно быть.
Pierres immenses, je pense.
Люди должны жить здесь.
People should live here and not dream to be there.
Corps d'extase dans son corps, les prières sombres des morts. Mon esprit me sert de décor, et j'adore.
это то, что здесь.
I feel interested in and great respect for what is being done here.
Колоссального уважения.
Many people still believe that only a metropolis is the art trendsetter, that the modern and the advanced is born there, and Ygra has broken all these patterns. All Russian projects evolved there to unite the artistic youth of different age with prominent artists, actors, film directors, musicians, writers, and journalists. The event turned into a huge festival, the Fest of Arts and Crafts, going far beyond Russia.
Мы знаем, что в Сибири живут талантливые люди.
We know that talented people live in Siberia by virtue of its genes history. Strong, yearning to be free people came there. The ancestors of those men and women today demonstrate a tremendous and unprecedented range of talents. Yugorsky Trampoline is one of the most successful projects of the Ygra Classic. Just in 5 years, it has become a great start for young performers.
В первую очередь мы хотим, чтобы они поняли.
We want them to see and to feel their usefulness, that they were singing and dancing all those years, day and night, not just for nothing. They practiced their labor of love.
Они занимались любимым делом.
And it seems to me that they're to be seen, are to be noticed, because we believe in them.
Я вовсе не хочу заниматься прославлением начальства в данный момент, но я хочу сказать...
Right now, I am far from praising the authorities, but I want to say that the interest to what the youth is doing and could do, and what it is in for, by old Russian tradition, is not a bottom-up development. Thanks God that many decisions in the Ugrian land have come from above. Here is just the example, which is already in Yugra's past. It was 1996. The country is in economic and political turmoil. How to survive and what will tomorrow bring? But the governor Alexander Filipenko undertakes construction of an art school for gifted kids of the north. Why? Many people wondered and even sounded off then.
В истории новой России, безусловно, Александр Васильевич был...
Alexander Filipenko was perhaps one of the first in Russia's new history to start thinking of the needs of culture, sports, education, including recreation.
Конечно, и оздоровительные процессы, это все делать не отлагая.
That all this was to be done now without putting off until tomorrow.
Я же неплохо помню эти времена.
Because you should always think that way. I do remember those times quite well. No money. And there you are. The country is in crisis. Where's the crisis? Everywhere. Thus we lived. But Filipenko refused to live like that. He started to build a school, a European-class biathlon center, hospitals, universities, theaters. He was confident that Tam's mentality wouldn't take you far. You are to make a decent life now, today, thinking about the future.
Очень редко встречается тип вот разумного, неистеричного руководителя.
Very seldom you would come across such a reasonable, cool-headed leader, you know.
Они основываются на том, что он житель этих мест.
All his ideas are based on his aboriginal past. And he would rather die than comply with plunder or any sharing of this land, which all his life is connected to. Here it is, the temple of culture, where talented children of Ygra learn art today. Whether they become great musicians, singers, famous artists or ballet dancers, time will show. But the fact that they found their way in life and want to create, dream of living well and make beauty should be merited to Alexander Filipenko, who takes pride in inviting his guests to get to know their art.
Я вот помню, скажем, вот как мы там были в этой школе, никаких мне...
I still do recollect our visit somewhere to that school. No words, no assurances, no vows. I need nothing.
Так вот я смотрел, как Филипенко смотрит...
There I saw how Filipenko was looking at those kids delightedly. That's it.
Округ достаточно долго и целенаправленно к этому шел.
The region had been heading towards it for a long time. No secret that there were hardly such opportunities. The government of Ygra and the governor pay much attention to culture. Nothing artificial, nothing special, no tricks. That was called for. These people sought for all that. While rehearsals go on in the Arts Center, the theater and concert hall Ygra Classic comes to life. We hear voices of the audience. His Majesty the viewer is packing the foyer. As Alexander Pushkin wrote, the house full, the boxes sparkle, the stalls, the orchestra are in motion. A slow hand clap comes from the circle. The curtain rises in swift commotion. It is not accidental that when world-renowned theaters visit us, they feel a special atmosphere here because Ygra has become theatrical. Kamagersky Lane is empty. Nobody asks for a spare ticket, and there are no familiar mobs of admirers at the entrance. The Moscow Art Theatre went on touring Khanty-Mansiysk. The tour program of the theatre features the best plays: Oblomov and Forrest, Hamlet and the Migrant Goose, and of course Amadeus, where the leading part is played by the artistic director of the theater, people's artist Oleg Tabakov. After heading the oldest Russian theater, Oleg Tabakov renewed the company, having made a star troupe and focused on diversified repertoire, inviting very different but always interesting stage directors. His coming to the theater made the name academic obsolete. Thus, Oleg Tabakov restored the previous name, the Chekhov Moscow Art Theatre, opened a new stage for experimental productions, and is in constant search for new plays, which other theatres fear as the devil fears the holy water. Mentally, Oleg Tabakov is a native Siberian who is used to break through, always attaining his goal, and perhaps this is why he again and again reaches out towards Ygra.
Вы знаете, ведь...
You know, one would never go to the place where he was uneasy.
Значит, там было хорошо.
It means you felt fine there. That's it. Very and for me do I feel there. And what is good for the artistic director is even better to the theater company. There is nothing to say, they feel first class. Where else could you rehearse prima donna with such passion and inspiration and to have an overwhelming opening night in Ygra?
All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Послушай.
Это было, конечно, что-то невероятное.
That was something unbelievable. After that, we didn't know what to expect in Moscow, after that opening night in Khanty-Mansiysk. We were given a standing ovation, and people were happy and grateful. They liked the production immensely.
У меня такое впечатление, что в этом
I feel
краю
there's plenty of joyous people here.
немало радостных людей.
A man should be happy with what he's doing. The thing is, and that was well said, that Russia will grow and prosper through Siberia, and it has already started to affect and transform the provinces. The might of Moscow, the power of Russia, do really lie in the provinces. Only Russians misinterpret the word provinces as ends of the earth which are impossible to live, as if life is possible only in large cities. We mean that everybody is entitled to quality cultural services, to listen to Gergiev, to visit Lancome, to hold a festival, and I think it's great. Who can let us into the secret of well-known and world-famous musicians and artists coming to Ygra? Could it be the attraction of the Ugrian land, the mysterious of Siberian nature, the numerous legends and takes of shamans? Perhaps, but the main secret is that Irina Tkachenko, manager of the theater center, succeeds in making real friends with touring artists. Frankly speaking, Khanty-Mansiysk has been associated with a kind of a great shock in my life. And what is more, Khanty-Mansiysk played such a significant role in restoring at least some kind of patriotism in the country. I appreciate the opinion of Dmitry Batman, who after watching the performance in the summer school, just for a minute, told me, "No offenses here, but just sincere." And we at once became friends. When I saw that theater, I was completely taken aback that such like exists in Russia, and I swelled with pride. I've seen that people there do really care for culture and are fond of art. Galakon Opera Theatre. This uncommon name was given by its founders, 5 young graduates of Gitis Art School. At that time, that staged several productions and named the theatre after the Greek mountain where Apollo used to meet his muses, indulging in the mysterious of amorous pleasures. So has the legend. However mature and popular the theatre is now, its young spirit and ardor are preserved until today. Our productions are staged with the hope that even those who don't love opera will have a liking for it. All of us know what love is, what jealousy is, what betrayal is, what beauty is, what honesty is, and what pain is. Our performances are all about this. Has Khanty-Mansiysk actually knocked the idea of country out of your metropolitan head? Khanty-Mansiysk is no hinterland at all. This is a special country. The secret of our success is that we're working here together. The business community considers cultural development in the area its high priority and sacred task.
То, что сегодня Ханты-Мансийск не только финансово,
Khanty-Mansiysk is an administrative, financial and a cultural capital of the region as well. This is the result of the consistent activities both of the authorities and of the business community. We make up the whole. I support the united efforts of the company and the region, because there are many positive things. One of the powerful companies in Western Siberia is Lukoil Western Siberia. Today, this corporation sponsors all the cultural events in the area. Social partnership is a matter of priority for the Lukoil company. Its cultural involvement is comprehensive to include both sponsorship and charities. Lukoil pays special attention to classical art forms. These people are used to not to wait for the sponsorship law, but to do their stuff to the benefit of the Ugrian land. This is exactly our task, and if you ask me why we are doing this, I'll be at a loss to answer, because it is very difficult to say why people breathe. It is as natural for us as for people to live and to breathe this air. The stage of the Ygra Classic Concert Center hosts the Swan Lake being danced by the Mariinsky Theatre Company. The title of Odetta Dil is being performed by the people's artist of Russia, the world star of contemporary ballet, Ulyana Lopatkina. It is one of the best and famous productions. At the same time, during our first tour in this land, we wanted to show the best what the Mariinsky Theatre has. You see, over the 224 years of the theatre history, we were the very generation of artists who of all others visited Siberia. Our generation was the one. For more than 11 years, Valery Gergiev is the director of the Mariinsky Theatre. His efforts to make the best company in the world have come true. Incredible rise of the theatre, constant tours abroad, success and recognition from the public all testify to that. He enriched his repertoire, brought Wagner's operas back to stage. The premiere of the Ring of the Nibelung tetralogy alone became a historic event in the musical world. The best world orchestras, Metropolitan Opera, Covent Garden, La Scala, La Carlo Felice and many others feel honored to have Maestro conducting. He is at the same time the principal conductor of the London Symphonic Orchestra. Just imagine his world itinerary. Perhaps that's why he fell in love with that land without no art boundaries. Just like him, he is everywhere where he's waited for, where symphonic orchestras play glorious music. And today, Grand Maestro Valery Gergiev is at the conductor's podium of the Ygra Classic Stage. We hope we are not come-and-go people in Khanty-Mansiysk, birds of passage here. And take my word, we are sincere and definitely will be back.
Выступала Ульяна Лопаткина, ну, такую балерину в этом спектакле увидеть.
Ulyana Lopatkina has been performing before you. And indeed, it's pure luck to see the prima ballerina in this ballet. Neither USA, nor Great Britain, nor France have such soloists, if we are to mean Ulyana, no. to Ulyana next such names as Ulanova, Plissetskaya, this is really a most singular phenomenon, which constitute the glory of the Mariinsky theater.
Не скажу, что я фанат балетный, но само настроение, сама картина.
Dare say I am admirer of ballet, but the festive mood, the performance itself, what makes people happy, really happy? Few people know all the ins and outs, but I hope we all do feel the beauty. Perhaps the phrase of Fyodor Dostoevsky, "Beauty will save the world," may seem enigmatic to some people. But here, in the Ugrian land, beauty has really changed people's life, refocused the life of the region, and filled with sincere faith the hearts of the common people who want to live well and decently on this land.
Вы знаете, вот ко мне приезжают коллеги с Москвы, приезжали с Питера.
My counterparts came from Moscow, from St. Petersburg, and they walked and looked around, and they underwent a change. At first, misapprehension, then even some negativism, and afterwards they nevertheless did come to a conclusion that it was great to have such a spot in Russia. Taking leave, they said, perhaps this region will set the pattern of how to treat culture, to appreciate its significance, and to further develop the Russian culture.
Strong.